on Colonial Sports Center. RMU softball squared up against cross-city adversary Pitt on Wednesday. See how they fared in Oakland against the Panthers. Men's and women's lacrosse looks to get hot as conference play ramps up in Motown this weekend. And Michael Deaver hits the pitch to look at the Army men's soccer offseason. Don't get hit by a loose football, babe, as it's time for another episode of CSC.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Colonial Sports Center. I'm Tyler Gallo, as always, alongside Colby Sherwood. We're getting into crunch time of all the seasons, and Colby, we have quite a jam-packed show, if you will, for everyone at home.
Yeah, it's a very busy show. Lacrosse, soccer, as we were saying there earlier, softball went to Pitt, although they were home because of scheduling conflicts. It was a very weird day, that one was.
Yeah, speaking of that, when it rains, it pours for the Army softball team as we get to, they had to switch their location for their game, headed out to Varda Beatty Field at Pitt. Their game was rotated to one in May, which would be at the North Athletic Complex. Let's take a look and see how they fared in Oakland. They fell by a score of 7-2 to the Panthers. The Panthers used a big middle inning slate to get away ahead of this game. A good game for Erica Bell, but it really wasn't enough. Colonial scored 2 runs in the first inning, but they had no answer for Danny Droschmuller, the pitcher for Pitt, after that, and it really just was a tough game altogether for the Colonials after that first inning. Also, we were actually there. Yes, right. Colonial Sports Network was at the game last night in Pitt at Varda Beatty Field. Kevin Plouch takes a climb up Cardiac Hill. He takes a look at how the Colonials did.
Robert Morris softball took the short trip to Oakland as they took on Pitt Wednesday night at Varda Beatty Field. The Colonials got off to a quick 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning thanks to RBIs from Taylor Reinhart and Charlotte Grover. Jane Garver was on the mound for RMU and did a nice job of limiting the Panthers early, allowing just 1 run and 3 hits through 3 innings. However, Pitt would continue to chip away at the RMU lead and eventually take their first lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Panthers would continue to extend their lead through the middle innings, forcing Garver to be taken out of the game, and made it an insurmountable climb for the Colonials. Despite that first inning flourish from RMU, the Colonials would be held scoreless through the rest of the game and fall to Pitt by a score of 7-2. Head coach Jex Varner talked post-game about the team's performance.
It was a great start. I mean, it's a great start. The top of the order has been great, and even from this past weekend, our top 4 in our lineup have been deadly. To be able to come out from the very first inning, score right away, and know that they're in a dogfight, that's the statement that I was really pleased about to start the game. There are a couple plays that we missed. There's a couple calls that were blown that cost us, and there's a lot of little dink hits. So there's plays we could have made, but as a whole, there's also a lot of good things that we did.
Despite the loss, the Colonials will get another chance at Pitt at home in early May. RMU's next game is Saturday, April 2nd against Cleveland State. First pitch is set for 2 o'clock p.m. For Colonial Sports Center, I'm Kevin Ploucha.
Thank you, Kevin, for that. Now, it may not have been the best game against the Panthers, but the Colonials did take some hardware home, as Dana Vitegas was named Pitcher of the Week for the Horizon League. As you see there, she's been dominant for the Colonials all year. Tyler, take us through this.
Well, you know, she's been pretty much a jack of all trades for the Colonials this year. She'll come in relief, she'll start the game, and she's really just been solid all year long. That's what she should do as a senior, and she pitched really well in the UIC series. Also, did a good job of mitigating the damage last time against the Panthers.
That's right, and she's been huge for the Colonials. But from the North Athletic Complex up to Joe Walton Stadium, the women's lacrosse team was looking for their first non-conference win as they have been 0-5 against non-MAC opponents. Through this, they would host Cincinnati. Were they able to bear the Bearcats? Let's take a look and see. First half here in Joe Walton Stadium. Nothing here, and Kylie Nas is going to score first here for the Bearcats. You're going to see it here. Nice little toss here, and that's going to go in the net. 2 Colonials were on her, but that would be her 5th goal of the year. 1-0 Bearcats. Moving on now. Alyssa Adams will take it. She's going to receive a nice pass, and she'll send a rocket in there. That would make it 4-1 Bearcats. That's her 2nd goal on the year. But Jenna Irwin would not let the Colonials go down without a fight. Watch her look like a hot knife through butter here, slicing and dicing, and she'll score, and that makes it 5-2. Her 23rd goal of the year for the Colonials. Colleen Tift would also add 1 for the Colonials, making it a 1-goal game. Spins around here, goes to net, and she'll score. That's her 11th goal of the year, and the Colonials are fighting back. Moving on to the second half, though, Elizabeth Murphy extended the lead for the Bearcats. She'll shoot, and she'll score. That'll make it 7-6, her 2nd goal of the year. And Kylie Joe is also going to score for the Bearcats here, and she'll make it 11-7. Cincinnati's pulling away in this one, but Jerica Obie's not going to let the Colonials go down without a fight. She'll send a rocket into the net, 11-8, her 13th goal of the year. But Ava Goler is going to seal the game for the Bearcats. Dives to the net, slides, and she'll score. 12-8. The American Conference Bearcats take this one against the Colonials.
And after a solid week of defensive action, both against Youngstown State and Cincinnati, there's some hardware to be given away as we have a repeat performer on the women's lacrosse team. That's right, Maddie Griffin won MAC Defensive Player of the Week as the graduate defender continues to prove why she's one of the better defenders on this team. She has some great job and draw controls for Youngstown State, by the way, 8 in that game.
Yeah, she's definitely been big for the Colonials. We've seen a lot of defensive plays needed in these games. A close one again. May have needed one against the Bearcats, as we just saw, but definitely huge for the Colonials this year.
That's right. And, our very own Cameron Macario had a chance to sit down with one of the players on the women's lacrosse team. That's right, Jenna Irwin, who's the leading goal scorer of the team. Take it away, Cam.
What caught your eye about RMU?
This is what I feel like a lot of people will say, and a lot of girls in my class will also have the same answer. As soon as we stepped on campus almost, we felt like we belonged here and that it was very much our home. People always say that you get this feeling when you step onto a campus that you know it's yours and that you want to come here, and that is exactly what I felt like.
How close is this team that you're on, and what goes on behind the scenes besides on field that just make you so family-like?
Well, we hang out all the time. Obviously, us underclassmen, freshmen, sophomores are in the suites at Washington, so we're constantly with each other. But then also, being with the upperclassmen, we go to their houses sometimes and to their apartments and hang out just about every weekend, I would say, when we're able to.
So let's get into on-field action. Was that hard to jump in and face some really tough opponents like Ohio State, UMBC, Liberty, Cincinnati?
I think our main obstacle with that was just looking at scores of those teams against other games. Obviously, it's going to be hard to jump into Ohio State, our first game ever this season, so that's always going to be difficult playing a big team, but that ultimately got us ready for the rest of the season, and we got film on that game, so we immediately got to see what we had to work on.
As a player, how far do you think you have come since day one?
Oh, I've definitely come a long ways. I remember the first volleyball tournament that we went to. It was actually here, I believe, and I was terrified. And then when the first whistle went off and we actually start playing and everyone gets in, you realize it's just another game. And also it's fall ball, so it doesn't count towards like a record or anything. So if you mess up, yeah, you might think in your head, oh, I messed up, but it doesn't, nothing counts on a score sheet or anything. So it's just playing to get the nerves out and everything like that. And then coming into season, again, where games actually count towards things. But I would say definitely my skills also having to adjust from the fall and from a high school speed of the game to a college game. It's much quicker. So obviously in the fall it was a little bit tricky to adjust to that. But now coming into the spring, I've definitely seen my improvement on that because I'm up to speed. I keep going with the games, and it's just gotten much better, and I can see that in myself and others.
Thank you, Cam, for that. And when we come back, if you're a lacrosse fan, you're in luck because we got men's lacrosse for you and a roundtable discussion with Melanie Holtz, Cameron Cariola, and Sam Goldberg here on Colonial Sports Center. Thank you, sir.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Welcome back here to Colonial Sports Center. Now, heading into their game against Drexel, Attackman Ben Starkey said this was a revenge game for the team, as they had not beat them since 2009, and the Dragons have had the upper hand in their last 2 matchups, beating them the past few years. Could the Colonials slay the Dragons in a midweek matchup? Let's take a look. Starting things off here in the first half, Max Semple is going to score his first of 7 goals in this game. That's right, you heard that right. Lucky number 7 for number 88. He gets his first one there. It's 3-1 Drexel early things on. Then moving in pretty quickly, Zach Augustine finds Corson Keeley. Not the last time I'll mention him. There's a big goal for him there. Moving inside one more time, Jake Boudreau finds his way in to give RMU their first lead of the game. And look at that, it's pretty rainy. There's a lot of sleet out there. Some open space one more time for Corson Keeley. Some prime real estate shows why he's the top seller of the day. Now moving it down low. It's actually sunny out. The weather changed so many times. Look at this ridiculous goal by Corson Keeley. He's falling, he's diving, and he goes behind to make it in there. Drexel fighting back, though. Semple one more time makes it a 9-8 game, and this game is back and forth. And here's a rocket one more time. Jack Mulcahy buries it, and as the game is tied at 13. Now a scramble, snow falling all over the field, scramble, and more open space on the field. And again, Corson Keeley one more time. Have a day, Corson. And then a little over a minute left. They tie the game. It's Max Semple one more time, but the Colonials were not done in this one. A face-off win here. Bo knows the cross. Bo Columbus goes all the way downfield. He goes in, and he finds the net, scores the game winner. The Conqueror gets the goal there, 15-14 final, as RMU wins against Drexel.
Now they were finally able to slay the Dragon, Tyler, but there was more hardware on the way as Corson Keeley was named ASUN Player of the Week. You see there, he's been huge for the Colonials this year.
Right, I can think of no player more deserving than Corson Keeley. Just put the team on his back during that game. A really good performance season, and he's been pretty solid all year long, Colby. And so, of course, we had the aforementioned roundtable. It's Melanie Holst is aside with Sam Goldberg and Cameron Macariola. Let's take a look at the state of the lacrosse season so far. Take it away.
Thanks, Tyler. I'm here with our lacrosse panelists, Cam Macariola and Sam Goldberg. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So both teams just finished their non-conference play. So Cam, to you, what are your impressions of the women's lacrosse team as they finish their non-conference play?
On paper, it says 0-6, but Coach Silva knew and had confidence in this team to win all their MAC games this season, so she gave them a tough schedule where they faced Ohio State, Liberty, UMBC, and Cincinnati, and you can tell this team has learned along the way to make these games closer, and that's the point of that non-conference schedule. She wanted this young team to learn and grow.
Sam, same thing to you. Thoughts on the men's team as they went 4-4 in their non-conference play?
Melanie, as you said, 4-4 in conference play. I thought the men's team played really strong against every opponent that they had. You know, their first game of the season was against Duke. Really strong opponent. One of the best teams in the nation. Had a lead at one point in that game, but again, it's Duke. You know, one of the best teams in the nation. They're going to overpower you. But some other key wins against Marquette and Drexel, I think, were really good for the Colonials, and also playing Bucknell and High Point. I believe both games they lost by 2 goals. So really strong non-conference play for the men's side, and I think we'll carry that momentum into conference play.
Now, what is one player who's been under the radar and needs to step it up?
Well, at the beginning of the season, I had Kelsey Nelson to be the leading goal scorer after the Gandy twins left and Kerr, and she is averaging a goal per game, but even with not as much production, the rest of the team is stepping up. There's 10 other girls who are producing just as much as her, which is great for the team, that it's not just 3 players scoring, it's 10.
Sam, same thing.
Actually, for me, I was really going into the season. I was really hoping Tiger Clark really would have a much bigger role, and he did. He's really stepped up to the plate. 20+ goals on the season already for him. Another person that I was hoping for was Dan Tadeo to take a much larger role this year. So far, he's been pretty solid through the first 8 games, has 8 goals and 11 assists, compared to his 2 goals and 9 assists last year. I would just like to see Tadeo score a little more. I feel like he has the potential to score, but I just feel like he needs to be a little aggressive to get on the score sheet a little more.
Cam, does the women's team have what it takes to win the Mid-American Conference?
I believe they do. I believe that everyone expects it to be RMU versus Central Michigan. They beat them by 1 goal at the Joe, and they have to go to Central Michigan. And then everyone, I believe, is expecting these two to meet in the finals. So it's tough to beat a team 3 times, as Coach Silva said. but I believe they can do it with the team that they have.
Sam, does the men's team have what it takes to win the ASUN Conference?
Yeah, I really think they do. My bold prediction for their 5 matchups in the Atlantic side, I think they're going to sweep conference play. First things first, they start off with Detroit Mercy. Not a really hard opponent in Detroit Mercy. They're 7-1 against Detroit Mercy all time, so I think they'll take care of business in that one. Bellarmine will be a little bit tougher. They are 7-7 all time. However, the Colonials have won the last 4 matchups, and I think they make it 5. Utah's interesting because Andrew McMinn was the former head coach last season, but now he's the head coach at Utah, and I think Brian McDonald really wants to cement that he's the head coach now here and really take over the role. And then Air Force and Cleveland State, I think they handle business against them as well.
Cam, Sam, thanks for sitting down with me. Let's send it back over to Colby.
Thank you guys for that amazing roundtable discussion. The show's going to keep on running now as we head over to the track and field team. They took the short drive over to Carnegie Mellon as they competed in the Carnegie Mellon Invite. Now, only the throwers competed in the event, but yesterday Valencia took the golden discus. Katora Hunter got second. Valencia back fourth in shot put. Valencia got seventh in the hammer throw, and Estelle Katende ninth in hammer throw. Valencia, though, with the gold medal in that one.
That's right, and that's, again, not the last time we were going to mention Yessi Valencia tonight, as she was named Horizon League Athlete of the Week. That's right. And also, she broke her own record at the Carnegie Mellon field. She broke her own record for the throw in that scenario. A really good week for her altogether.
We spoke to her last week, and she was talking about how the throwers are really ready for the outdoor season. They've been waiting for this, and she showed it in that one.
That's right. And when we come back, we got putting, we got rowing, and we got kicking, and probably screaming too. We'll see you when we come back here on Colonial Sports Center.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was licking it?
Welcome back here to Colonial Sports Center. Oh, check it out. It's tea time as the golf team was in action once again this week at the Battle at Rum Point, looking to improve on their ranking last week at the Carpetbagger Classic. Let's see how they did. He's up here, and I mean, they must love golfing in Providence. Look at that. Another great performance 2 weeks in a row for Rhode Island. What another thing they did at Battle at Rum Point. RMU took a step back from their performance at the Carpetbagger Classic, finishing tied for 13th with Iona. Really just a rough day altogether at the links.
Yeah, definitely not what the Colonials were hoping in that one. The Rams, though, absolutely destroyed there. Rhode Island had a great day in that one.
That's right. Again, there's no stranger to that, and we'll see how some of the single Colonials did. Single out a few players in this. As you see, Alex Seelig was tied for 27th. There was actually 11 individuals tied for 27th. And look at that, Rhode Island, 2 of the top 4. Really just a good performance altogether for the Rhode Island Rams.
Not so much for the Colonials in that one, but Cole Brennan sat down or went to golf practice and see how the Colonials were faring that day.
The RMU men's golf team is in the midst of their 2022 spring season. I'm here at the Montour Heights Golf and Country Club, taking in their practice as they continue to prepare for the rest of their 2022 spring season. I had the chance to speak with golf coach Jerry Stone. He gave insights on who he thought played the best at the Rum Point tournament.
It's probably Alex Seelig. I think he finished about 25th, 27th in the tournament out of 120. He played really good. Shot 71 the last day, and just bitter cold and 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Josh Nagy told CSC what he was trying to practice before the next invitational.
Right now I'm just trying to go post a score. We're in qualifying for conferences in Lafayette, so I'm just going to try to go shoot the best score I can.
Alex Seelig provided us with great information on who he felt the most improved player on the team is.
Definitely Parker Johnson. I love how hard he works. It's really inspiring for me, and I know the rest of the team. He really worked his butt off over the winter, and he's really seeing the results of it right now, so I'm really proud of him and happy for him for that.
The RMU men's golf team will continue their season at the Alberta Collegiate Invitational. For Colonial Sports Center, I'm Cole Brennan.
Thank you, Cole, for that one. Now we're going to row our boats over to the Occoquan Sprints as the RMU rowing team was in action in that one. And they fared all right in that one. Loyola Maryland varsity A and B both were able to take first and second, but RMU Boat A was able to get third with a time of 11:43.39, and varsity B, RMU came in third with 9:43.80, and Loyola Maryland D both had a great day. They came in first. Loyola Maryland, Tyler, really showed up in this one.
Yeah, definitely a good performance out of them, but we're going to go back in time a little bit to the fall. That's right. Michael Deemer and company checked in on the only fall sports team to make a postseason run this year. Take it away, Michael.
Coming off their first conference tournament appearance since 2017, the Robert Morris men's soccer team has been working to achieve that kind of goal once again. While it was a goal for the program to make the postseason tournament last year, goalkeeper Mike Zolnarchek knows that it's more than just making an appearance in it.
Making the Horizon League tournament was a big goal for the fall, just something to build off of and grow on, but the guys here were all hungry for more. We didn't come here just to make the tournament. We want to go in there and win something, so we're going to continue to work, continue to grow, and we've been building great relationships with the guys that have came in the spring, and we think we have the tools to do it as long as we keep working and do what we need to do.
Even with their newfound success, this team is still very young, but according to head coach Jason O'Keefe and Brian Okongo, they see a lot of improvement, even with some still experiencing their first spring season of their college career.
I see the team improving massively. Obviously last semester we had a lot of incoming freshmen coming into the team. We had like 14 new players, so the full season was really rushed. You know, we had to try and be able to build chemistry as a team in a short space of time. Obviously now in spring, you know, we're building, you know, relationships every day.
Yeah, I think, you know, it was a very young group, so more training. None of them had been through a full spring cycle, which, while the model we're trying to look at changing, expanding, you know, the spring has been very productive for college soccer because you can put a lot of individual attention in small groups, and it is mentally, you know, pushes you because there are no games to get excited for every week, 2-3 times.
New to RMU himself, Coach O'Keefe says he has started to gain more of a grasp of the program at RMU after his first year as Colonial's boss in 2021. He has learned from his own previous experiences at other programs.
You know, having taken over some other programs, you kind of, you know, use the lessons learned philosophy, and so you know, I'm not going to try that, or I'm not going to do this more than this because you've already been through it, so you can see it changing faster, which is great because everybody that involved is ambitious and hungry for more.
Part of the young core are some of the newcomers that joined over the spring. The 3 newcomers joined the squad in January and have already built connections with the team in just a matter of months.
We added 3 new additions. In January, they've come in and hit the ground running and really added to the group. And, you know, we just set up, based off the fall, how we wanted to set up the spring. You know, and every day was compete from minute 1 to 90.
When William and the Gillies got here, they integrated really well into our team, bought into the system. They knew what they were coming here to do. So it was a pretty easy transition. There was some adversity in the beginning, but the way we've grown from January when they got here now into March, they've took it in stride, and we're well on our way if we keep working and doing what we need to do.
Whether you're a fourth-year vet like Zolnarchek or an incoming newcomer to the program, everyone has that same kind of goal in mind, getting better where they were before. Reporting for Colonial Sports Network, I'm Michael Deemer.
Thank you for that inside look at how the men's soccer team is doing, Michael. And we're going to go back to the fall one more time as the football team just released their schedule. As with their full schedule, we've seen a ton of games announced. And hey, I recognize that team on October 1st. That is from my home state of Delaware, Delaware State. They're heading down there on October 1st. They got some really good games here, Colby.
Yeah, Miami's going to be a good one. That rematch against Dayton because the game was canceled. But Appalachian State, in my opinion, might be the game of the year. One of the better teams, and one of the better teams they're going to face this year.
Definitely an interesting way of placing it right smack dab in the middle of their conference schedule. But, you know, if anyone seems prepared for that test, it's Bernard Clark's team.
That's right, but that is a brutal road test to end the year.
It really is a brutal road test, Colby. You take a look at all those games, and it's really tough. When we come back, why are we starting the show at the top when we're at the bottom? Stay tuned here on Colonial Sports Center.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
we discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things,
but they're all pure love.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Tyler, it's time for the top moment of the show. Can you guess what it is?
No.
It's time for top plays. Even if you aren't excited, let's go. All right, time for the top plays of the week here on Colonial Sports Center. Number 5, watch Colleen Tift go to work here against Cincinnati. I said this one earlier, but she's going to go right to the net, spins around a little bit here. It's a very weird play. And finally, goes to the net. She'll shoot and score. Nice goal there.
Yeah, really nice goal, but I think the one that's at number 4 is arguably better. Take a look at this really quickly as we get into the number 4 play of the week. That's right, and look at this right here. Corson Keeley moving inside. The sky is falling. No, wait, that's just Corson Keeley with a ridiculous goal. Look at this one more time. He cradles it back in front of the net from behind from the impossible angle. What a tally there for Corson Keeley.
I wonder if we're going to see him again, Tyler. But moving on to number 3, Jenna Irwin, who's been the best player on the team here. And like I said earlier, a hot knife through butter, slices and dices her way to the net and will score.
Yeah, very nice goal from Jenna Irwin, and we talked to her, like you said, earlier in the show. But number 2, honestly, was more important than any of these goals throughout the entire game. That's right. Here's Bo Columbus. Bo knows the cross. He wins the faceoff. Goes down 40, 30, 20, 10, and touch. Oh, wait, no, wrong sport. It's just lacrosse. It's a goal. The huge goal of the game, 15-14, put them ahead to stay.
That's fine, Tyler. And now it's time for Corson Keeley on this one. He's going to go and misses initially saved here, and then he's just going to whoop behind my back, and that's in the net. What a goal by Corson Keeley.
That was ridiculous, and that's probably why he won. I got to stop saying that. ASUN Player of the Week. Again, just a great player for a great team. And now, the CSC Comic of the Week. We have been withholding this goal from you guys all show. It was arguably the funniest goal of the entire game in the men's lacrosse game. Let's take a look at it.
It's definitely an interesting way to score a goal. Not my first idea here, Tyler.
Yeah, definitely not. But you know what? If it gets in, it gets in. They don't ask how, they ask how many.
That's using your noggin correctly there. As you see, it bounces off the head and into the net.
Dan Tadeo with the goal that he'll take. I don't know if he had on his bingo card getting a goal off his head going into that game, but I'm sure he'll take it.
Yeah, you'll take it anyway, but look at him. He goes, I think that was in. He has no idea that went in, but great goal.
And it might win ASUN Play of the Week as well.
I don't know about that.
Colby, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
Well, both teams are in Detroit, both lacrosse teams, that is. Mine is the men's lacrosse team taking on the Detroit Mercy Titans. The last time RMU won 16-3 in that one. Corson Keeley, of course, is my player to watch. She's been absolutely dominant. 25 goals, 9 assists, and 34 points. But it could be a good one. Tyler, what about you?
That's right. Well, both lacrosse teams are getting sent to Detroit. I'm going to take a look at the softball team who's in action this weekend. They had games really moved around altogether, but their first game against Cleveland State is on Saturday, as Erica Bell is a player you're going to look for, leading the team in batting average.
definitely an interesting team to watch. We've been saying all year how they're one of the better teams on campus. Hopefully they can pull one out against the Vikings.
That's right, and that's all we got for you tonight. It was a really jam-packed show, like we said at the top. But once again, that's all we got. For Colby Sherwin, I've been Tyler Gallo, and for everyone here in the studio and upstairs, we will see you next Thursday for another episode of Colonial Sports Center.